Test. Angie? Yeah. Test. Are we turned up? Are we
And so
turned
I'll
up
just
on this, or do you have to turn it up? Got a green light.
It should be on.
Test. Hello. Test. Hello. Hello. All right.
All right, it's time to start. The O'Briens are out of town, but we have a treat. Today we have Brother Ron Vick with us this morning from Rome, Georgia. He works with House to House, Heart to Heart. Does a lot of the digital work for them as far as their website goes. Has worked, if you've used PTP 360, the polishing the pulpit, he has some work he's done with them and continues to do with that. He's here with his wife, Angie Vick. So he's going to be doing our Bible study this morning as well as our sermon. So here he is.
I don't think this is working yet.
I know it's recording. You're right.
I have an effect on things. Test. So I just had hip replacement surgery about 5 weeks ago. So I hope you don't mind if I sit down during Bible class. I'll try and stand up during the sermon. Jesus taught sitting down, so I don't feel too bad about that. Nothing yet. Hello.
I don't see it. It's just not going to the speakers.
We need divine intervention. I've worked with the tech station lots of times, and it's always just one little thing, right? That's just the nature of the beast. So House to House, Heart to Heart, you should have a copy of that in your lap. And that will give you something to look at besides me. This thing right here. If you don't have one, raise your hand and one of these nice guys will help you out. Oh, is there a clicker? It's up there. Sorry. I'm running you ragged today. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good. So in this magazine, it's mailed out. It can be once a month. You can do it once every other month. Once a year. You know, you can adjust this any way you want. Now, I've only got enough material for 30 minutes, so if you want this to go 45, you got to ask some questions, okay? Don't feel bad about that. So this is a magazine that we mail out to a specific area. And, you know, they get this every month. And then if you're able to go knocking on doors, you say, you remember getting these? And sometimes they say yes, and sometimes they say no. The person that checks the mail is not the person that answers the door. That's the nature of the beast. So, but every now and then you get a light bulb comes on and, oh yeah, we've been reading that every month. And that's what you really want. It's, you and I as Christians, we scatter seeds. And that's our job as Christians. We are seed scatterers. And sometimes you throw seed and it lands on the path. Sometimes you throw seeds and it lands on the weeds. Sometimes it lands on the rocks. And every now and then you find seeds. It lands in the good ground. And that's what you're looking for. And that's really what House to House is all about, is helping you scatter seeds. There's different ways you could do it. It's just an organization that helps people scatter seeds and helps you harvest the seeds that land in the good ground. And I don't know about you guys, I'm kind of introverted. I don't like talking to strangers. And if you ever see me talking to a stranger, I'm outside my comfort zone. I do it because I know I should, but I'm not real comfortable with it, okay? And, my wife, she's kind of the same, and maybe you're kind of that way as well. We've got guys on House to House that can talk to strangers. Rod Selman works with House to House. He can talk to strangers, and all of a sudden, he's talking about the Bible. And it's kind of a magic thing. I don't know how he does it. I think voodoo is involved or something. He's just able to do that. He had a group of young people, went out to the park one day because he was bored, wanted to do something. Met a lady, started talking to her. Within 2 weeks, her and her husband were baptized. That to me is, it's right up there with voodoo. How do you even do that? I have taught people and baptized them, but not total strangers. It's people that I knew. People, you're scattering seeds, and that's, other people can do that. So anyway, this is just a method to reach out to the people around us every day. Can everybody hear me? My voice doesn't carry like some people. Some people would rattle the windows when they speak. My voice doesn't work that way, sadly. So the magazine that we send out is customized to this congregation. So this is one from Oak Hill there in Rome. We've got a picture of the building on there. There's the preacher's name, our times of service, stuff we're doing. The one you got in your hand is from East Ridge, and it would work the same way. And then you've got articles by Brotherhood men. Mostly they'll be from Alan Webster. That's a good thing if you don't know Alan Webster. He just does a bang-up job with articles. And you can just read through there, and people would get this every month. And of course, some people, they're going to throw it away. I don't want that. But then other people, they will spend a good time with it, and that's the people you're looking for. You can have your preacher write an article for the back page. Matt Wallen wrote the one on the back of this page, so that's kind of how that goes. There's about 3 other people that would usually do what I'm doing. So I'm kind of like the 4th string guy, okay? Don't ask me hard questions. I have to pass those on to people that actually know. Let me tell you a little about myself. I was a preacher for 20 years there in Rome, and then I switched to teaching at the technical college, technology. And after I retired, Matt Wallen kind of approached me to work with the web pages. And house to house, we'll see in a minute. We've got about over 600 web pages that we did. And since then, they've turned it over to a company. But, and so I'm kind of transitioning now to work with videos. So it's something to do when you're retired, and you need to stay busy and stay involved with things. And that's what I've been able to do with that. Fortunately, I can do that at home from my lazy boy, which is bonus. All right. So all of these are customizable. The inside is just, there's Bible quizzes. There's sometimes there's a crossword puzzle, and there's QR codes for more information. And that's, key to reaching people today. And that's kind of how that works. Let's see, tracks are available for people if they want more information. They will push a certain track. People can contact you if they have questions about your congregation. You can add your mailing list to what is sent out. You can add visitors, names and addresses. Somebody comes to visit, start sending them house to house every month. All right, let's see. Customized mailing list. You can add your mailing list. Send a copy to each of your members so that your members know what's going on. You can see. It's always nice to know what's going on. That way you're just reaching out, and it's a regular thing. So you're going to select an area, and bigger or smaller, do the ones around the church building. Matt Wallen made this map, and it doesn't mean anything to me. It may be you can make sense out of it, but he's chosen some areas, and this is probably in connection with the post office. I'm sure they've got mailing routes and that sort of thing. So that's this area. All right, this is the bottom line. And of course, if my wife were making this decision, she'd want this slide first. She's the bottom line kind of lady. Whatever you're talking about, well, how much? And I can't even read those numbers. Can you read them up there? Are they any better? No, they're not much better up there. So I don't even have that slide in my notes. See, Matt Wallen, he knows all these by himself. Anyway, I'm leaving a copy of this PowerPoint, and the people that are making decisions can contact really Matt or some of the guys to get prices on things. I don't do money. I don't even do money at my house. So, I'll leave that up to other people. I'm an elder of the church there in Rome, but I don't do money there either. We got people that take care of that, and that's kind of how that works. But the bigger area you have, the more it costs, of course. So, and then there's things like the customized mailing list. If you get involved with the new movers, and that's really the next thing. So what it is, with new movers, you can choose an area, and people that move into that area is new movers. And actually, I've got the price for that. That's $5 a month and $2 per address. So, 10 people move into that area, you get, that's how that's going to work. What it is, if people are moving, that's a good chance for you to reach out to them. And what we've done is take like a basket of cleaning supplies or, things they might need, and some information about the church. Sometimes they're moving into an area. That's a good time to reach out to them and, talk to them about church. I've seen people, on Facebook. Well, I've just moved to the area. Where's a good church? Well, of course, they get 1,000 replies, and that's what that is. You get free digital copies. So you get a PDF digital file, and you can send that out to your people, your missionaries. Everyone should be able to get this digitally. They also do multiple languages. We've worked with churches in 136 countries. So if you've got a Spanish population, that's how that works. When I was doing web pages, of course, I don't know any other languages. Well, I worked with sign language, but that's different. But I would use Google Translate and take what we wanted and stick it in Google Translate, and it would spit out. I did for a place in French North Africa, which I didn't know they spoke French. So that tells me. Anyway, so I would translate it into French North African, and then we would send it to somebody that actually knew French North African and say, how's that look? And that's kind of how we did that. So that's sending this to different areas, and House to House is involved with that. You guys are too quiet. You need to ask some questions. I'm gonna run out of juice here in a minute. So there is a school of evangelism, and what they do with this, Rob Whitaker is one, maybe you've heard his, and they've really added another guy because he will come in and train you how to do personal evangelism. This is something that, you would think, well, and you've probably heard, this Christian, they just become a Christian and they start teaching other people. Well, that's okay for some people, but no, I don't know if I want to do that or not. Well, he trains you and works through that. And, they use Back to the Bible. I don't know if you're familiar with that. There's 3 lessons that they use, and I will leave these here. One's got something on it. These are the teacher's edition, which just means it's larger print. The older I get, the larger I like my font, okay? And basically, I've not used this as much. I was trained to use Open Bible Study. I don't know if you knew Jerry Barber was up in Dalton, and he taught a number of us how to use Open Bible Study. This works just the same way. It's not me going in and preaching to somebody. Nobody wants that. I don't want it, and they don't want it. You read a verse of the Bible together. You have them read it, preferably. And then you ask a question about that verse. So it's not like you're teaching anything. One of the ladies, she says, you didn't teach me anything. I was just asking questions about what the Bible says. And so it's not like, you're telling them they're wrong. Nobody wants to be told they're wrong, okay? You're asking questions about what does the Bible say. And that is, in my mind, that's just the best way to go about teaching someone. Even, my wife and I at the house, we don't want to be told we're wrong. So that's really how this works. And there's 3 lessons. And when we were taught Open Bible Study, it has 3 lessons. He would teach us the first lesson, and then we would teach him the first lesson. And then he would answer with ways that a lot of people are going to answer. So you learn how to encounter difficulties. And you say, you know what? I could do that. And, you know, the light bulb comes on and you say, you know, this is not the big monster that you might think it is. This is something I could do. And this is just a tool. It's like any other tool. The more you use it, the better you get at it. And that's kind of how that works. And so they have this available. Open Bible Study is available. I don't know if you remember, like 100 years ago, when I was a child, we used the Jewel Miller film strips. Anybody ever use those? There's one, there's some. Do you remember, did you guys have the record player or the cassette tape? I remember using both. We had a little machine that would show the film strip, but it also had a record player attached. And it would play the narration, and it would ding when you're supposed to advance the film strip. And I remember doing it. It would wake me up and tell me it's time to change the picture. So used it a lot. And, you know, that's how a lot of, you know, you get a good picture of the Bible. It's just good stuff. By the way, the House to House company or group owns Jewel Miller, the film strips now, the rights to it. So you can get that on a CD or a DVD these days, and you don't have to hear the ding and turn the knob every time. Progress, right? All right. So anyway, the School of Evangelism, we've had this in Rome, and then it trains you how do you encounter difficulties? How do you go about doing this? And so now they've got two guys. That's all they do. That's their job, is going around training churches how to do evangelism. And if you can do that here, I'd recommend it. The second guy, I forget his name. That sounds right. He was with a small congregation, and Betty, he just started growing that congregation like 400% or some crazy number, and said, that's another guy. Some people just have this gift. So there's any number of ways they will work with you. They will do Zoom meetings if you want to do it that way. And there's links. I'm going to leave my notes here with you. There's links in here that you can use to train you, to get you up to speed on things. All right. So the card that you have, no, that's different from that. All right. Never mind. Ignore the card you have. There's a big poster that looks like this. And I've asked one of the ladies, Ian's mom, to send you guys a poster. And basically, you get contacts, and they develop into prospects. They develop into Bible studies, baptisms, new Christians, new converts, and growing church. And it's just a cycle that you're working on all the time. And it's not, we'll wait till next year to do this. This is something, as Christians, we need to be working on. There's no, I was born in Iowa, and there's planting season and growing season and harvest season. They got the different seasons. Guess what? in Christianity, the fields are white unto harvest. And we need to be looking for prospects, always being aware. And it's hard, and it's something you have to work through to get that mindset. And it's, it's kind of like anything else. You get in and you drop out a while, and you get back in and you drop out a while, and you got to keep forcing yourself to get back in the water. It's what Jesus wants us to do. And that's the model. They've got door knocking resources. So when you go knock on the door, and we have, one day we encourage many congregations. And of course, if Matt Wallen was here, he would tell you how many we did last year. He's got a good head for that sort of thing. Hundreds of congregations, I don't know, more, all go on one day. And then we try to get, responses. How'd you do? Inevitably, there are many baptisms that result from this. People that are contacted, they've been seeing the magazine every month, and Betty, we want more information. Who are you guys? And that's the seed that lands on the good ground. That's the people you're looking for. And you're going to, if you do go door knocking, it's a tough sell sometimes. The percentage of effectiveness is really low. But you know what? Every now and then you find that seed that's on the good ground. And, I've been door knocking several years, and, sometimes they don't know what you're talking about. Well, do you live in this neighborhood? Your neighbor's been getting it all this time. And you don't say that, but you think it sometimes. But every now and then you'll find the one, I'd like more information. And that's the people you're looking for. So they have tracts you can hand out. They've got Bible correspondence courses. They've got the Jewel Miller. If you want to, I don't want to say anything. I just want to go in and play this on a DVD. You can do it that way. And, that's good. I've shown Jewel Miller to my high school kids. I think it's just good information. The pictures are a little outdated because they did it in the turn of the last century or something. I don't know. Long time ago. But the information is great. And that's that. All right. The American Missions Campaign. Oh, there's the door knocking resources. This is just a picture of their webpage. I got it last week. And some of the things are free. You can just download them. And then some things they have to print. And really, they're not in the business of making money to make money. They're just trying to keep their business going. So printing cost is something. Anyway, that's that. So here's personal evangelism. There's the copy of Back to the Bible you see there. And there's Rob Whitaker doing a Bible study with someone. And we've pretty much talked about that. Door knocking day, of course, is something we do every year. I'm not sure what happened to, there's the stuff that's available, tracks, bookmarks, things you can leave at with people. There it is, the American Missions Campaign. So what this is, people will flock to an area. If you have that here, you'd have people coming from all over to help you knock doors, to help you do something. And, young people, they've got a lot of energy. It's kind of fun to watch. And I get energy from being around them. So the American Missions Campaign There's people that will just kind of follow this around and they get involved with it. So that's that stateside mission trips. The world really, Jesus said, go into all the world. Guess what? The world starts next door. And, I don't know my neighbors' names. How about you? Do you know your neighbors' names? I've tried to talk to them, but they don't have much to say. And so those are people that we need to reach. Those are people we need to be reaching out to. My neighbors and your neighbors. So we've got the tracts and the Bible correspondence courses if they want to do it that way. People are very leery of strangers. And I don't know, I'm kind of like that. If I get a text from somebody I don't know, do I text them back? No, I don't. That's gone. If I get calls from people I don't know, well, I'm not answering it. So, people are leery about strangers. And that's kind of the culture we live in these days. So we have to work to somehow get through that barrier. And it's hard. It's hard for them and it's hard for me. And you have to learn to work through that. Let's see. He's got a member where I attend house to house knocked on the door. We have what's called compassion cards. And, you get a visitor, comes to your service, we may send them several cards, different ladies. They send cards. My wife, every month she sends out, how many cards do you send? 10? 15? Okay, every month she gets a list of 15 people and she will send them a card. That's part of her ministry. And we've got, how many people you supposed to send cards? 30 or 40 people at Oak Hill. They send out cards to visitors, to sick members, to people we don't even know. And that's a personal contact. And imagine, one of our other elders, his family was sick in Alabama, and they got a whole boatload of cards from people at Oak Hill. And that's just a way of reaching out to people and showing your love, that's kind of what that's all about. Let's see. Anyway, those are compassion cards. One lady, we knocked on her door, and he says it's his youngest daughter's widow. So there at Oak Hill, they kind of assigned one of the widowers to one of the kids, so they would have a connection. And Betty, they, would make a connection and do hugs and all the things, Anyway, she was just a member. Actually, she lived a couple of blocks from the church building, and she wasn't attending until we knocked on her door. And actually now she's the lady that runs the card ministry. And that's kind of how that worked. But many success stories. And of course, if Matt was here, he could actually remember all the names and dates and places. I don't remember those. All right. The website, if you don't have one, you guys already have, it's actually a good website. If you don't, a lot of small congregations have no website at all. And this is what they're doing for websites now. And it's a little different than what I used to do. But you want some sort of presence on the internet. If there's some place in town you're thinking about going there, you look it up on the internet. Back in the old days, you had the yellow pages. Yellow pages are gone. If you don't have something on the internet, people are never going to find you. And that's what this is for. And so right now, there's over 600 websites that we're doing for different congregations. And basically, we just kind of plug in their information into a boilerplate. And that's kind of how that works. Let's see. Podcasting, they've got studios up in Dalton where you can do video or audio. If you don't have those things available here, you can go up there and do 13 lessons or how many there are and make those available. They will help you with that. Right now, and this is advertised also in your magazine that you've got in your hand, this is kind of a new thing that is just started actually 3 weeks ago. So Matt Wallen is doing Seeing God every Tuesday night as a podcast. And you can use that QR code, and you've got one. I think there's one in your magazine. What page is that? Right in the middle. Big picture of the Bible. And he's done that series many times. Let me back up one time. And big success with that. A lot of people, people that have been going to church all their life, and this kind of goes through the whole Bible. How does it all fit together? And, as little kids, you might hear stories from different parts of the Bible, but how does it all fit together? And that's what he does in this class. He did this 2 times at Oak Hill, once for the college and young adult group and once for the adults. And some of them went through it twice because they just liked it, and that's what this is. And he's doing it online, and the old ones are available on YouTube. So if you say, man, that's something I'd be interested in, you can go back and catch up, binge watch all those things. He does this about 2 hours every Tuesday night. And like the first little while, it's like introduction, and he's just kind of talking informally. Then he does the more formal thing for an hour. Then he answers questions live that people can ask online. And this may be something, I don't want to talk to anybody, but I'd let them look at this. And so you could give them that QR code and say, hey, this is something you might be interested in. And that may be a thing that will work for you. All right. I don't know what that is. It's too little. Anyway, let's move on. Here's what you have in your hand. That's the card. 18 evangelism ideas for any church member. Evangelism needs to be part of who we are as Christians. You remember Jesus' final marching orders is go into all the world. Well, that's not just the preacher. It's not just the missionaries. Those people in the first century, they went from house to house trying to spread the word. And that's really the bottom line. That's how the church exists. That's how it continues. That's how it grows. I want the church to grow, but I don't want to get out of the house on Thursday night. Well, sometimes you get out of the house on Thursday night, even in the winter when it's dark. Why? Because people need to hear the word. And you want to kind of read through these. I'm not going to read to you. I believe most of us can read. These are things we need to keep in our mind. We need to go with us. And, your preacher might want to use this as a sermon outline one day. and go into all these things, and just good ideas. So contact us for a plan. This is Matt Wallen's phone number and his email address. And of course, I'll leave all this with you. Your neighborhood. He's got flags going to these different houses. And that's really what House to House started. We've been doing this for over 30 years now. It started small, and it's just gotten into just so many different areas of evangelism. And everybody there is evangelistic. They're looking for, ways to spread the kingdom. I don't know about you guys. I want the kingdom to grow. I was so enamored by the organization. I volunteered with this really, I guess, about 6 years, 5 or 6 years since I retired. And I just want the kingdom to grow. And that's what we need to be looking at. How can I help the kingdom? And it's not just the kingdom where I live. It's not just that church. I want it to grow, but I want the kingdom here in Cumming to grow. You can have thousands of conversations, restorations. We've heard from thousands. And, you just figure, if we've heard, in 2025 alone, there were 2,508 baptisms reported from our work. I had him update this last Thursday. So that's just in 1 year, last year, 2,508. And that's just the ones we've heard from. So he will go places to workshops and that sort of thing and say, oh yeah, we baptized a family. And so it's, these are just the ones we've heard about. Lord willing, there's many more that we've not even heard about. And that's the idea. We want the church to grow. And if we can help you do that, that's what this is all about. There's the QR code. If Matt were here, he would remember all these people's names and their whole situation. I'll just tell you one. Rod, he met one of the ladies in the park. I think I already told you this. I only know 3 stories. I have to tell him a lot. But he is amazing. I just want to follow him around and see how he does it. How is it you're going from hello, my name is, to a Bible study in 5 minutes? How do you even do that? And anyway, that's what these success stories are. We get an email every week that, man, pray for this congregation. And the idea is the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Well, what if 1,000 righteous men were praying for this congregation? What if 1,000 righteous women praying for this congregation? How much difference would that make? I don't know about you. I always think more is better, right? And that's kind of how that is. And here's the model, and you just see growth, baptisms reported, and it's just an amazing thing. That's different years. And anyway, it just goes on. These guys not only converted through House to House, they are now preaching. And that's pretty cool. This is a couple in Rome that were baptized, and that's them. Oh, this is a lady that was living in Matt Wallen's backyard, and she was like a visiting nurse, and she was baptized. Anyway, it just goes on and on. There's just a boatload of this lady. He didn't even know they were at a workshop, and she was a convert from through house to house efforts, and he hadn't heard about it. He hadn't met her, but at the workshop, she was there. And Kyle, it just goes on and on. Anyway, one of these guys, there's a story there. He's a member of the church. If you're a basketball fan, that might mean something to you. And he told me that story, and it went out the other ear. So anyway, that's all that. There's a lot of success that's available there. And I think that's all. All right. Questions? You guys are too quiet. No questions. That means I must have done all right. My wife says I laugh too much, and that's just the way I do things. Thank you. We'll talk to you again in a minute.